Charlie got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude in this place, he out cold with a tombstone, grab her the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringing the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul Bearer, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. Ted DiBiase got a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face, powered by FullPressCoverage.com. Go there for all your sporting wants and needs. And since it's been so long since we have talked, EJ, I think the main story will be Steph Curry in the gold medal game against against France. And then the USA women turning around the next day and beating France's ass in the US in the gold medal game. And then, of course, you got Jordan Childs getting her bronze medal stripped from her because of a technicality.
Yeah, what a way to finish the Olympics, man. I was watching it at a restaurant on a big screen, and, man, people talking shit about how it shouldn't have been that close, but competition is increased over the past 20 years, so I don't know what people expected.
Yeah. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Like, the Dream Team, they were playing against motherfuckers that were working at Home Depot most of the year. Like, these guys had, 62, 63 NBA players in the rest of the field? Like, these weren't scrubs like it was back in 92.
Exactly. But, you know, that led to an exciting game, though, man. When Steph kept hitting those shots, I'm like, damn, man, I never seen anything like this. I know you're happy. You know, you light-skinned dudes like to stick together.
Yeah. Steph's my guy, too. I love Steph Curry. Just seeing him take over. That shot he hit against Wembanyama, whew. Mm-hmm. The photo of it, like, this dude looks like, what fucking scary kids movie was that where the guy was real tall and not Ichabod Crane?
Slender Man?
Yeah, I think that might be what it is, and I don't know the name of it. But yeah, like tall, lanky, brown motherfucker. That's what he looked like trying to block that shot. And Steph ain't but what, 6'2", maybe? If that, on a good day?
Listed at 6'3", but probably like 6'2".
I mean, that's clearly taller than I am. Before an NBA player, that's pretty fucking short to be able to get his shot off the way he does. But yeah, man, it was exciting. I was following along and excited to see that they won. I watched the first half and then went to the pool and kind of watched the second half, but wasn't really paying attention much to it because there's a lot of other stuff to pay attention to at the pool I was at.
How unpatriotic are you? The second half was the best half.
I'm not unpatriotic at all. I was doing my duty as a red-blooded American male to follow along what I was following along with.
There's a way to spin it.
Hey,
Expect your spin on the story.
I was still watching. I wasn't as into it as everybody else was. Like, I looked up, we were losing, and I looked up and we were winning. And then I saw later, Steph went crazy. But I was still like, yeah, USA, gold medal.
Yeah, like the U.S. needed every gold medal they could get. Because I didn't watch the women's game, but I heard they only won by one, which is kind of crazy. And then it ended up being a tie for gold medals with us in China. So every single gold medal counted, even though we got the most overall medals. But I don't know how I feel about tying.
I think the overall medal counts more than the gold medals.
Does it, though?
I think so. I think because, you go there to be the top 3 in the world. Like, if you get a bronze medal, that's still really fucking good. That means you're the 3rd best person or team at what you're doing in the fucking world. Like, Not just in the city, Craig, the world. So yeah, overall medals I think goes a longer way than just gold. Now, obviously, you want to win the most gold medals. You want your country to be the best at that. But for your country to have the most medals, and they had what, a lot more than China, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Nobody was close in overall medal, but I feel like the third and second mean a little bit more in individual sports, but for team sports, it's kind of lame. You got to play for like a bronze medal game after you lost in the tournament.
Yeah. Well,
for the team sports,
what it is. Still get a medal though.
Yeah, that's true.
How was your week and a half away, EJ?
Man, went on a cruise.
Oh,
that was interesting.
Really? I saw you post a picture of you out in the ocean somewhere. I just thought you went to a different country. I didn't know you cruised there.
Yeah, I went to Florida, into Florida, and went through Port. What's the name of the port? Port Canaveral.
Port Canaveral.
Messing that up. Yeah, Port Canaveral.
Yeah.
Went on Carnival cruise, and for all the people that don't know, that's known as like, quote unquote, the Ratchet cruise line, like the Soul boat and whatnot.
Is it really?
That's what it's got kind of a reputation for.
I did Royal Caribbean the 2 times I've cruised. I thought that was like known as the ghetto one.
No, that's the fancier one. That boat was huge.
But they
were docked too.
It was like $250 for like a 4-day weekend.
Really? I don't know where people finding these deals at.
This was also, I ain't cruised in fucking over 10 years either, so it was a long time ago.
Oh, so this is 10 years ago.
Yeah. But, I mean, cruises only. Like, the deals are there. You just gotta... Sometimes the dates might not work out for what you want, but if you're flexible, you can find good deals on cruises only. Like, I think I was looking like a year ago for some reason, and cruises were pretty decent.
Yeah. And you said it was 200. I played like quadruple those prices just to get on, maybe because it was the dates.
Quadruple? For how long?
Just the 3-day cruise.
You mean total for like you and your girlfriend was $1,000, or you mean like each?
Total, because you said you paid like 200, so 400. Yeah, so total.
Okay.
Quadruple.
All right. I mean that's still pretty high.
Over that.
Did y'all have like the alcohol package or something like that?
Nah, that's not included. That would have been an extra $400.
Damn.
For the whole 2, and they only let you do it for 2 days. They don't let you do it on the last day. So I guess it wouldn't have been 400. It would have been 74, whatever 74 times 4 is, because it's 74 per person.
Golly, cruises are expensive now.
And it's like I don't want to use that word, but it's kind of a scam because the second day you're not even on a cruise, or you're not even on the boat for most of the day. You're on the island, gallivanting and whatnot. So,
where'd y'all go?
Nassau in Bahamas.
So they have does Carnival have their own private island out there too?
They didn't take us there if they did.
Okay, because on Royal Caribbean, we had I want to think it was like a 4-night, 3-day cruise. And one day we went to Nassau. We were there for like 12 hours. And then the next day we went to their private island. I can't remember the name of it. It's just a fucking island out in the middle of nowhere. They got to drop anchor, and you got to get on these little airboats to get there. And they're having like a barbecue and all this other shit just out in the middle of the fucking ocean. And it was pretty dope. You were there all day. Obviously, like everything costs. Like if you wanted a cabana or a fucking hammock or whatever, you had to pay for it. But we just did whatever was free. The food was free and included with it. We bought drinks, obviously, but yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah, man, they charge you for that. That does sound dope, but for Carnival, they charge you for every single thing except for like the buffet. And it's like if you want to like do like the premium meals with like they had like a seafood little restaurant and sushi place, you got to pay extra for that. Every drink was $12 a pop, so that adds up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
For liquor, I think beer was like 8, but that's not that better.
Yeah.
The entertainment was decent. They had like this theater room because the boat is huge. The comedy dude was pretty decent the last night, but the 2 nights before that, or I think it might have been, I can't remember which night, Friday or Saturday night. They had like this like almost like musical thing, but it was almost like High School Musical type vibes. I'm like, what is going on here?
I know the price was like high that we're talking about, but I think cruises are a really good value of entertainment. Like if you take advantage of it and you're just not sleeping in the fucking room, like they have a lot of stuff going on those cruises, and I had a lot of fun when I went.
I don't get the point of going on a cruise just to sleep. I know this is your time to get some R&R, but
Yeah.
pay good money. I'm like, I'll sleep for most of the cruise because my whole family was there, my immediate family, and my parents are old, so they were sleeping a lot of it.
How old are your parents?
My mom will be 62 on Friday.
It's not old.
Not Friday, Monday, and my dad is 60. I'm 60. I'm 36. He's 65. He'll be turning 66 at the end of the year.
I'm 42 now, so that makes my mom 61 and my stepdad 60. So, and they still like fucking party. 62 is not old. How dare you?
It is for them. 62 and 65.
Yeah. 65.
They weren't sleeping the whole time, but they were sleeping a lot during the day.
Yeah.
And I had my sisters and nieces and nephews there. Nieces, 1 niece, nephews, 3 nephews. So the family affair. Then we went to Universal Studio on Monday, so that was cool too.
Check out Harry Potter World.
I knew you was gonna ask that. No, I don't fuck with that.
I mean, I don't really do it either. My daughter likes it, but it was fun when you went.
My other family did. So Universal Studio, they're I'm just gonna say it, they're just lazy. So you know if it's lightning and thunder, then they got to shut the rides down. So I'm like, okay. So it was raining for a little bit, and it was like it had 1 strand of lightning once and 1 thunder once. So like, all right, it's gonna be like what 20 minutes, 30 minutes top. They shut the rides down for 2 hours after that 1 little lightning and thunder, and it was sunny for like the last 70 minutes or so before they opened it up. So I'm like, what are y'all doing? I just feel like y'all just don't want to work.
They're just being safe. They don't want to get sued.
They shouldn't have been shut down for that long. I used to have season tickets to Carowinds and been in similar situations and haven't seen it shut down for that long.
Carowinds in the Carolinas, right?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah. I've heard of that. I haven't been there. I'm not a big theme park guy, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, so once the rides started opening back up, my family wanted to sit and watch a parade. I'm like, I don't come here to watch a parade, even though my dad paid for everybody's tickets. But still, I just want to sit around and watch a parade. And so, me and my girl went off and went on the fun roller coasters. And while we were doing that, that's when they did the Harry Potter thing. While we went off and tried to get on a roller coaster, it's just a little duo.
Harry Potter's got some cool rides in there, though.
Well, they have like 1 roller coaster, I want to say. I can't remember.
No, they got more than that. It also depends on which Harry Potter park you go to, because there's 2 parks and you can ride the little Harry Potter train in between them. But my daughter and my girlfriend, because I don't do roller coasters, they rode the motorcycle one and it was at nighttime too. So it's like you're sitting on a motorcycle and it just takes off. And it goes, upside down and shit like that. And then it comes up like this and it stops. And then you go backwards the whole fucking way back. I'm sorry, not the whole way back, but most of the way back, right? And then when you stop, all of a sudden the roller coaster opens up at the bottom and you drop down and the fucking thing starts all over again and you go another way. And apparently my daughter was scared as hell, but she said she loved it. And I'm just like, good for y'all, because daddy wasn't doing that shit.
That's pretty cool. I would have done that. But we did do the train back from Universal to Islands of Adventure. We did that Harry Potter train. when we
Yeah.
got back, when we
That's-
had to, take it to get back to the other
That's
part.
kind of cool. If you were into Harry Potter, like I saw the appeal of it. If that was my thing, like my daughter loved it because she's into that. So
Yeah, I think it made you look like you were going through the invisible wall if you're looking at it from an angle.
Yeah.
And then when you're on the train, they had like the video
yeah,
during the train.
it's pretty dope.
Yeah. All in all, it was a pretty cool trip. What about you? What you get into?
My birthday weekend, I went to my favorite city in the world.
Vegas?
Yeah, flew out to Vegas Thursday night. Just me and the girlfriend. Gambled a lot. We hit up. She wanted to go to that play, adult, like theme park type thing that we all went to during the guy. I don't think you were there yet, but we went to during the guys trip. We went there and did that. Fucking, she found a whole nother room in there that had like 4 other things to do that we didn't fucking see when we were there. So that was crazy. We did that. What else did we do? We went and got the little like sandwiches that I like at the container park off of Fremont Street. Went to Fremont Street. We were trying to be smart, and like, all right, well, usually when we get here, the most thing we spend money on is alcohol. So it was like, so when we get here, we're gonna get our own alcohol and do our thing that way. So Friday morning, I don't sleep. Like, I'm old, I guess, and I wake up early, so I don't sleep when I'm in Vegas, really. Even when I'm out like playing fucking casino night all night, like I'm still awake at like 6 o'clock Vegas time, because that's 9 o'clock my time, so it's like sleeping in. So I got up, and it was before it got really hot. It was like 90 degrees, I think, Friday morning, and I walked like a half a mile, which is really like a mile and a half in Vegas, because you got to go up a bridge, you got to go over a bridge, you got to come down the fucking bridge, then you got to go to the next stop, like cross another fucking bridge. Anyway, short story long, I went to the liquor store that morning, got a big bottle of rum, because at the hotel, I went to their little liquor store, EJ, and I said, excuse me, how much for that bottle of Jack Daniels? Regular 750 milliliter bottle of Jack Daniels, EJ. This lady looked me in my face in all seriousness and said, $75.
Because I remember I got that bottle of Jack when I was in Vegas for the guys trip, and it cost me, I think, between 30 and 40, and I thought that was bad.
This was inside the hotel though, because when I went to the liquor store, I got a 1.75 liter rum for $30. So all you had to do was literally walk like 10 minutes outside the hotel, and the liquor store has the regular fucking prices over there. So we did that. We ate, good food. Inside of Circa, there's a place called Harry's. It was a steakhouse, and I had like comp foods for that. So we went down there, got some good steak and steak egg rolls and shit like that. And we had planned on doing so much shit Friday and Saturday night, but it was like we would hang out throughout the day, we would drink, gamble and shit like that, and then like 8 o'clock we'd just be like, let's just go take a nap. We'll wake up and go do shit later. Never happened. Never fucking happened. We were in the room at 8 o'clock every fucking night. We were there almost. Now I still got up and went and gambled sometimes, and then we went up and got food and shit like that, but for the most part we partied during the daytime. A lot of fun at the Circa, what's it called? I can't think of the name of their pool up on top of Circa, but it's got the fucking big scoreboards and shit like that. Stadium swim.
Stadium swim.
Yeah. We went up there and chilled up there for a couple hours. And yeah, man, it was just. And then Monday, our flight didn't leave till 5. And my buddy Brent picked us up to go out to lunch, and then we just went to his house and hung out for like a couple hours. He was, nice enough to just fucking be like, because he gambles for a living, and instead of him going to work at 2, he waited till took us to the airport. So that was nice of him, because we had to check out at 11. But all in all, man, it was a good time. It was a good little trip. Didn't spend nearly as much as I normally do. Lost though, I will say that. Like, I didn't This is only the second time me going to Vegas since I've been going that I came back in the losing section of gambling. So, but yeah, all in all, man, it was fun. It was a really good time.
Yeah, I started my trip on a bad note and it ended on a bad note. When we had the lift, we got a lift from the airport to a hotel close to the port. And when I got to the room, like, did I just leave my headphone bags? Brand new pair of like headphones, like over the air headphones. And I had like the portable ones in there too, like my the little earbuds that when they rechargeable case, and a couple chargers in there. It was pretty pricey amount of equipment in there.
Did you get it back?
No, I still haven't gotten it back yet.
Oh,
and
damn.
It was like a pain in the ass to like communicate between the driver. Like his ass could have drove around and like, cause I called him like when he was like 15 minutes away, and I know the port is kind of. I'm sure he's from Orlando. The port is a little bit far from Orlando, but he was only like 15 minutes away. He could have turned around. He's like, I'll stop by when I can and check in the trunk. I'm like, this motherfucker. So I was back and forth between Lyft, and then Lyft had to be like the middle person. Couldn't talk to him directly. They tried to give him my number, and I couldn't get it while I was on the cruise. So we went back and forth basically the whole weekend. And then I was like, all right, cool. He finally messaged me back, and I was supposed to, exchange it with him on Monday, and couldn't get a hold of him because Monday night was the only window I had after Universal, and couldn't get a hold of him. Then he finally texted me back the next day after I already touched back down in St. Louis. It's like, still in Orlando? I'm like, no, I'm not in Orlando. And then I paid him the shipping fee to send it in the mail. So hopefully he just doesn't run off my money. He actually ships it.
Yeah.
And then, my bad to cut you off. And then coming back, we were like 5 minutes. All right, so we were so it was like 55 minutes until our flight was supposed to leave. We went to go check in the bag. We were doing Frontier, and they're like, sorry, we can't check it in. You missed your flight. We're like, what the fuck? 5 minutes late. Like 60 minutes before the flight, that's when the check-in stopped. I would have been good because I had a carry-on, but my girlfriend had a check-in bag, so nothing we could do.
So what happened?
We missed the flight.
No shit. Oh my god.
So we had to pay a whole nother cost for a whole nother flight through Spirit.
Jesus. 5 minutes. They couldn't let y'all do that. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's bullshit. So I won't be flying Frontier again, even if they got good deals.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
One of the last times I went to Vegas with my girlfriend, we flew Spirit, and we would fly Spirit and Frontier, because it's a little cheaper. And I just like every time it's just like something was fucking annoying about it. And I told her, I was like, look, you're just going, because she's all about like, we can do the cheapest flights, and I'm like, I kind of rather pay for convenience. So I told her, I'm like, I'm not doing these fucking ghetto ass flights anymore. Like when we go somewhere, it's got to be Delta. The cheapest I'll go is Southwest, but it's got to be Delta or American Air or something like that. I'm not doing Spirit or Frontier anymore. But our travel day Thursday was awful. Went to work. The plane was supposed to leave at 9:45 here. We left late. We were at a different gate, and they didn't fucking announce it. When we got there, I don't pay for like seats and shit, because normally when you buy tickets together on Delta, they'll seat you together. Like when you check in, it might be in the back of the fucking plane, but they'll at least seat you together. They had us seated separately. We were in zone 8, so we were the last people to get on, and of course everybody getting on is putting 2 and 3 fucking bags up at the top compartment. So we ended up having to check our bags, which we both get a backpack and a carry-on. That's plenty of fucking room for clothes and everything you need, especially like if I'm not taking like 3 pair of Jordans and shit like that. Like, it's nothing. So that sucked. The plane left late, but then they said, oh, we'll fly, around this storm and we'll get there early. So we land early, and then we sit on the fucking tarmac for an hour and a half. They don't let us off the fucking plane because another plane was being inspected at the gate. So we had to wait on that. Then we get out. We got to go wait on our fucking bags to get there that we didn't want to check. And then it was fucking hell trying to get an Uber. it was like everybody's plane got out at the same fucking time. We were on the wrong level. The Uber driver, the first one we got, couldn't tell us where we were supposed to be going. He was just like, I'm right here. This is where I am. And I'm like, what fucking level is that? He's like, the level with the Ubers. I'm like, okay, well, I'm at fucking D2 column right now, and I don't fucking see you. Like, so we ended up having to call another Uber, and then checking into the hotel was easy because I did it on my phone. But we get there, and I had like $250 in free bets, and this right here should have told me that I wasn't gonna do well. I fucking put money down, the free money down on black, red. Put another one down on black, green. Put another one down on black, red. That should have told me right there that I wasn't gonna do well this weekend. But all in all, man, it was a fun weekend. I love going to Vegas. It's a little pricey, but we try to like cut corners by like going to the liquor store and drinking more there than like buying shit out. Because Vegas is expensive. Like if you don't venture out off of the Strip, Fremont Street, not so much. Like, and we stayed 2 nights on the Strip and then 2 nights in Fremont because I had free rooms on both. So we stayed Thursday night, Friday night at Excalibur, which is a shithole, and then Saturday and Sunday we stayed at Circa, which is probably my favorite hotel I've stayed at in Vegas. So all in all, it was fun. Like I said, it's a little pricey, but can't put a price tag on fun, man. Can't take the money with you. So
did you get to keep up with any wrestling out there?
A little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm glad we're talking about this and not wrestling right now. I do got my power rankings though. I got my power rankings and I got my street clothes rest of the week. I turned AEW off last Wednesday. About 8:45, I was just like, I'm not about to let these motherfuckers hold me hostage till 10 o'clock. This show is the absolute shits. And then last night, I didn't even watch, really. Like, I saw Mercedes match and Camille and Britt Baker being her normal botchy self. And then watched a little bit of Monday Night Raw was actually on the plane when we were flying back Monday because we left 5 o'clock Vegas time. So they had live TV on. So I just watched Monday Night Raw. And by the time that was over, it was almost time to land. But yeah, I watched a little bit.
That's what's up. Got to get in where you fit in as far as watching time.
Well, EJ, I can't access my phone because I'm using it as a camera. So you'll have to guide us through the notes and stuff like that. So wherever you want to start is where we'll go. But before we get into that, the news just broke today, and I think that was one of your notes. We can start there. That AEW All In 2025 will be in Arlington, Texas, at a baseball stadium, which seats what, about 40,000 people?
Yep, that's more. Yeah, that's that one particular one does 40,000.
Yeah, and you know, let's get your feelings on it, EJ.
I mean, I wish I could find the show where we talked about this. I think you were maybe mentioned Cowboy Stadium. Like, no, they need to do baseball stadiums, and Nostra EJ strikes again. I think it's perfect for them to start doing All In stateside with baseball stadiums, and it'll be like novel for somebody to attend. I think pretty much you could just say this is their WrestleMania now.
Yeah,
I think they'll fill it out too because people want to go travel, make it a weekend. People like going to Texas, Dallas. I know you like going, so I think it's a good choice.
They're gonna have to WrestleMania and now SummerSlam even, and probably Royal Rumble also. They have so much other stuff going on the weekend of those shows. Indie shows, WrestleCons, Ring of Honor used to do stuff during WrestleMania weekend, like GCW. They're really gonna have to, and it's really not up to them, but other companies and other shows are really gonna have to make this a big weekend as well to make people want to go even more. Because right now, just an AEW All In is not enough for me personally. Now, I do like the move. I like that they're bringing it stateside. Rumor has it that in 2026 they're going back to Wembley, which I think every other year in Wembley is enough. But two things. One, it's going to be Texas in July. So y'all can have that. I'm not going. It's going to be hot as fuck. Like, that is awful. Like, I just dealt with 105 degrees in Vegas. That's nothing compared to what it's like in Texas in July. The other thing, if AEW knew they were moving All In back stateside, and I hate to say book for the house and not the product, but why is Will Ospreay not in a world title match if you're not going to be there for another 2 years at least? And that's just a rumor. Like, you have the hometown guy there. You let Paige win the fucking belt there. I'm not even saying let him win the title, but I'm saying why is he not in a more prominent match? Now, he is in a match with MJF, but it's for a title that was just created like a year ago. There's no way that if they knew this, Will Ospreay versus Swerve should have been the main event. I get Danielson's swan song and the whole nine, and you got to kind of matriculate your way around that, but I don't know. I feel like it's a big missed opportunity, especially since they're not going to be there again next year, because everybody was like, oh, Ospreay will just win it next year. No, the fuck you won't, because he'll be in Texas.
Hey, I mean, maybe they're banking on the fact that he's already a star over there and build him to when it is stateside, make him a bigger star over here with people who are still not familiar with him. So,
I'm all for it, though. I like it. I think it'll be a good optic. I wouldn't mind going, but like I said, it would have to take a lot for me to end up at All In next year. I got a lot of travel already planned. I'm going to WrestleMania, and that's going to be in Vegas. We just talked about how expensive Vegas is. It's really going to be fucking high as giraffe pussy come WrestleMania time. And then I'm going to Japan in February, so I might be all fucking traveled out by the time All In comes around.
Man, you going to Japan? I know you don't like being on planes like that. That's gonna be a long plane ride.
Yeah, can we not talk about this right now? I don't want my fucking anxiety to fucking flare up.
Are you going to Tokyo?
Yeah, Tokyo, Mount Fuji, and then Kyoto. The only thing that I know that we're doing that I give a shit about is we're going to do the Mario Kart thing through the city.
Yeah, I remember hearing Covino talking about it. I think he might have did that.
Yeah, you dress up in Mario Kart. You got to get a temporary driver's license, which we're already in the process of doing, which, doesn't take long. But yeah, we'll talk about that when it's in February.
Yeah, man, I'll be here before you know it. February? That's when the Japan trip is, February?
Yeah, mid-February.
Yeah, like you said, you got a jam-packed 2025 so far, but, August, maybe the Texas plane tickets are usually pretty cheap for you. I know you usually find deals, so maybe, who knows? You might be able to sneak in the all-in trip.
I'm telling you. Unless I come into a big sum of money next year, that shit is not happening. I don't know. I do like Arlington, and I like, and the Cowboys will be leaving to go to training camp around that time. So, you could probably tour the Star, and because I haven't been to the Star yet. I've been to the stadium. But, there's a lot of cool shit to do in Texas, but again, it's going to be July in Texas, though. That shit is not comfortable. But, yeah, shout out to AEW, man. They bringing All In back stateside. And it's mid-July, not August, so we don't have to worry about All In and All Out being right around each other, too. I don't think people realize that yet. They moved it up, over a month.
When is All Out next year?
All Out is usually Labor Day weekend, which is the first weekend in September.
Yeah.
Now, they moved All Out this year to the weekend following because They separated All In and All Out by 2 weeks this year.
Will that be the same case for next year, or are they spreading out even further?
I don't know. I would, if I had to guess, I would guess they'll go back to Labor Day. But I enjoyed AEW's fucking holiday weekend pay-per-views, and I know they got more of them now. But I feel like I'm not mad at a Sunday night pay-per-view when you ain't got to go to work the next day. But for all the other days, they should put them on Saturdays. But that's beating the fucking dead horse. Yeah,
the Memorial Day and Labor Day was nice.
I think
way
the other
to do
one's
it.
MLK Day they did, isn't it? Isn't Double or Nothing usually Martin Luther King Day?
Nah, you thinking of Revolution, man? Nah, it's not close to Martin Luther King Day. Double or Nothing is Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. So they really only had 2 that were on holiday weekends?
Yeah, but they only had 4 pay-per-views, so
Right.
that's half your pay-per-views on holiday weekend.
Right. But yeah, AEW with the big announcement. What do you want to get to next?
I'll let you be the decision maker. If you look at the chat, I transfer it so I know you don't have access to your phone.
Roman returns to SmackDown. We'll start there. We still haven't heard from the original Tribal Chief. He is playing the babyface role big time. He's changed his music up a little bit, playing to the crowd a little bit more. Michael Cole even said something like the revitalization of the Roman Empire or some shit like that, he said.
That kind of scared me a little bit. I'm like, where is he going with this?
Yeah. Is he going to have his vest back on when he starts wrestling again?
I highly doubt it. But they're building up intrigue. Like you said, he came down, just wrecked shop and didn't talk. And I think there was a quote either earlier this year, WrestleMania, or last year. He said, I don't think he's going to be running in the company without Paul Heyman. That's what he said himself. So I don't know if he's sticking to that. If there's a Paul Heyman return looming around us, but I don't know.
I loved his return at SummerSlam. Besides the music, I don't like that they gave him new music. I know it's only subtly different, but it's still not as cool as the music he had. That's what you get, you little shit. You shouldn't have been under the bed. Sorry.
Cat?
Yeah. Shut up.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Hope your girl doesn't watch this.
No, he ran under the bed right before we started podcasting, and I was like, no, leave his punk ass in here. If he wants to go under the bed, then he's gonna be trapped in. You better stop. Can you hear him?
Yeah, cats don't listen at all. They're the most stubborn animals.
They're fucking annoying. Like, so needy, so fucking disrespectful. They jump all over shit. Like, a dog would never do that. Cats, cocksuckers, these guys. Anyway, so Roman's got different music, and I loved the return at SummerSlam, but I felt like on SmackDown, they should have beat his ass. I felt like him just coming down there and wiping out the whole bloodline by himself, like, that just makes them look so shit. It never happened to the real bloodline. One guy never beat the fuck out of the whole bloodline. So many nights of SmackDown would end with the original bloodline standing tall over 1, 2, even 3 people. You never saw the original bloodline. They may have gotten the upper hand on them, but they always came back, and they always ended up standing tall when it wasn't even. One guy never came out and beat up Roman and the Usos, and I thought that made them look super weak. Like, I thought Roman needed to make his return at SummerSlam, and on SmackDown, before he even says acknowledge me, Solo and them boys needed to beat his ass. You, boy. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. They've been building these new bloodline characters as killers the past 6, 7, 8 weeks, maybe even further than that. I can't remember when Tama Tonga came in. It was like not Backlash, I think. I want to say so. They've been building them up, and then just for Roman just to come in and just beat the fuck out of all of them. I'm like,
yeah,
these are the killers that y'all been building up. And what the news reports say, they purposely leaving Fatu out of there because that's who they want to build up. But still, with these other two, you basically set like the pecking order. Like these are like the jobbers of the group, basically.
Now,
I don't know if I like that necessarily.
To be fair, Roman did try to kill him with the steps. Like the way he did Tama Tonga when he was laying on the ground, I was like, damn, that shit was. He mad as hell. Also, I don't know if you caught this because I'm used to catching little shit with the bloodline. Did you see the look Tama Tonga was doing when he was handing the Ulafala to Solo? It was like he picked it up and he was just kind of staring at it, and Solo was like, fucking give it to me. He kind of snapped out of it, and when he gave it to him, he was still like looking at it like he fucking wants it now. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I definitely noticed it. And you go back and watch, you'll see it too, because I watched it twice. I was like, I think something's happening right here.
Hey, planting seeds. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens next. Is Roman supposed to be on SmackDown again this Friday?
I believe so, yes.
I wonder if we'll get a actual mic segment with him, or is he just gonna be the silent killer?
Nah, he needs to get his ass whooped. Whatever happens, he needs to get his ass whooped.
I was just about to say that, like they gotta like put the beats on them, cause Jimmy's probably waiting somewhere, and then like you said, I know you were kind of not all on board for it, but they're gonna slowly bring Jay back in the fold, and probably even Sammy.
We don't need to bring Jay. They got Cody.
Oh, he'll be there too. I think it'd probably be 5-on-5, and they might bring Hikuleo in.
All here in Atlanta when I'll be in Mexico.
Is Survivor Series in Atlanta? I thought it was
Bad Blood is. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bad Blood will probably be Hell in a Cell with Drew and Punk and Liv and Rhea.
Yeah, most likely.
Wouldn't mind seeing my girl Liv in person again.
You'll see her eventually
at WrestleMania.
You could keep it in your pants till then.
Jesus, EJ.
Hey, supposed to have real talk in the show, aren't we?
World Championship matches are set for Bash at Berlin. Randy Orton just said, fuck the brand split. Went over to Monday Night Raw, challenged Gunther. And Cody Rhodes will be defending the title against Kevin. I didn't like this segment with KO.
What didn't you like about it?
If we're in real life and somebody's like, you know what, I'm going to give you a shot at the promotion. Or I'm going to give you, or, fighting. I'm going to give you a shot at the top. No, I don't deserve it. Man, get your motherfucking ass in the ring and fight for that damn belt. What do you mean? Who cares about deserving? You're a prize fighter. That's his fucking name. And now all of a sudden somebody gives him a fight for the prize and he's like, nah, I don't want it. And then Nick Aldis is like, well, fuck it. I'll give it to Roman. He's like, wait a minute. Maybe I do want it. Like, I don't know. The whole thing made no fucking sense. Why would a professional wrestler say no to a world title match?
He's trying to, even though he's Canadian, he's trying to portray like the blue collar, pull yourself up by the bootstrap type of quote unquote all American character. But little do people realize America is all about cutting lines and getting handouts. So I don't know why he's trying to play up that angle. I get it, but if they want to really be real, then he should have took the handouts as fast as he could.
And also, KO's a piece of shit. We've known this about this guy. Yeah, he's a babyface now, but let's not try to act like KO did stab Sammy in the back like 817 times. He turned on Jericho. He fucking won the Universal title by aligning himself with Triple H. Turned on the New Day when Big E was out. Like, KO's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's almost turned as many times as Big Show, but I get what you're saying. But I get what the angle they were trying to play, but it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm excited about Orton and Gunther, though.
Yeah, we know how it's probably going to turn out, but a lot of people were excited that they're circling back around to, I think, Orton's shoulders weren't pinned at King of the Ring.
Yeah. which
I
was a
watching
good.
King of the Ring on my phone, and I didn't get a chance to rewind and look back at it. So
No,
was
his
it
shoulder
like,
was his shoulder was definitely up. It was kind of almost like it was actually exactly like when Becky Lynch pinned Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Like his shoulder was supposed to be down, but it wasn't by mistake, and they've actually made an angle out of it, which I think is pretty fucking clever. Instead of just
so you think it was an accident?
oh yeah, it's definitely an accident. But instead of just ignoring it, now they've made a fucking title match out of it.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see the reaction he gets over there. Randy Orton called him a German, even though he's from Austria, which was funny. But yeah,
I mean,
more excited about. Go ahead.
they are kind of acting like he's the hometown favorite. Like you said, he's Austrian and they're going to be in Germany. Like, they're neighboring, but that's not where he's from.
Yeah.
He does give German vibes, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of that match than the Cody and KO match because kind of came out of nowhere. And it almost, solidifies the point you've been making about Cody just kind of being a background character. Because I don't know, I just don't really feel any heat or storyline for this matchup between him and KO.
The thing about Cody, I don't like that I'm right about it. Like, I wanted them to prove me wrong and for Cody to have a good reign. And I don't want to be like gloating, like, see, I fucking told you. That's why I really haven't. Because it kind of pisses me off because I like Cody, but it just ain't working for me.
Yeah. So, if you had to guess, you think more likely chances that Cody will have the belt going into Mania, or they're gonna put that into, if we're gonna do hypotheticals, if it is Rock and Roman, you think the belt gets injected into that?
I don't know who's gonna have the belt at WrestleMania, but I don't think Cody will.
What about Solo as like an outside shot of getting it?
I think if Solo was gonna get it, he would have got it at SummerSlam.
Huh. So if you don't know, but you don't think it's Cody, it's only a handful of people that, even less than a handful, like 2-3 people that may have it going into Mania. If it's not
Put it
Cody.
on fucking Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
I'm just throwing names out there. I don't know. I don't have an idea, but I don't think Cody will have the belt come WrestleMania. I don't think I don't think he needs a year-long run. I think his run's been long enough now. He ain't gonna lose to KO, but I think Survivor Series maybe, Bad Blood in Atlanta. You know how they do you when you come home.
Exactly.
Ask Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Logan Paul winning it. He'd get a lot of heat because he'd be booked like Brock, barely defending it, just like they did with the U.S. when Logan had it. But I also don't like when the title is completely like a side story, because if that's the case, then it'll probably be Roman and Rock, and that'll be the main story overshadowing the belt. So, but it is what it is.
I got it.
What's that?
The Rock's gonna have the belt at WrestleMania.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
It's all gonna unfold.
Be dropping it to Roman. He'll be dropping it to Roman.
Not so sure about that, but you're probably right. But it's all gonna unfold. Rock was in charge of the new bloodline. He's gonna come back, take the belt from Cody. Roman's gonna reunite with the Usos, which I don't want. I don't want Jay reuniting with the bloodline. Civil War, bloodline, all gonna culminate at WrestleMania 41 like it should have at WrestleMania 40. But as mad as I was that it didn't, I wouldn't have been there to see it. So I'm excited now that I will be there in Vegas next year, and we'll get Rock versus Roman.
What if they did that and then
Excuse me.
Cody wins the Elimination Chamber and challenged Gunther and won the world title?
Nah. Cody doesn't need the title anymore.
You went like Cody with the World Championship?
No. The World Championship is a second tier world title, so it's like the big gold back when John Cena had the spinner belt. So Booker T and Mark Henry and Benoit and guys like that they didn't see as WWE champions could still get a world title run.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you want Cody to get that?
Because that title's beneath Cody.
What? Didn't John Cena win that title?
He did.
After winning?
He did. Once he switched brands or whatever, they were trying to make the belt bigger, but everybody knows that title's a secondary world title. Cody doesn't need that.
Then Batista have it, and Undertaker.
Yeah. But I feel like Cody having this one would, like guys like Gunther, right now, I don't see him WWE Undisputed Champion. I see him as World Heavyweight Champion. Jey Uso, I don't see as WWE Undisputed Champion. I see him as World Heavyweight Champion. Who else is over there on Raw? Even CM Punk. I know he's been WWE Champion before, but I don't see him with the Undisputed title. I can see him winning the World title.
Yeah. I was just throwing Cody out there. I think it'll either be probably Punk or they might try to circle around to Sammy again at WrestleMania. I think Gunther's gonna hold it till WrestleMania.
Yeah, he will, but don't miss me with that Sammy shit.
I didn't say I was a big fan of it, but the fans seem to get behind it, and I can see them running a rematch with the world title at stake.
Yeah, and
Gunther probably still winning though this time around.
Oh, definitely.
Booking.
Definitely. That's about. Shut up. You shouldn't hide under the bed. Now your ass is stuck. Sorry, a little run in by a one-eyed cat. News broke this week that Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan passed away. You got any memories of Kevin Sullivan at all, EJ? I know I do.
Yeah, rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan. And I purposefully didn't look at any stories after his passing because I know that he was behind the scenes a big factor in booking, and I don't really know too much about him, so I was gonna let you do a history lesson. I went back and watched because when he was doing the Dungeon of Doom stuff, I was too little, and that's right before I checked in. I checked in after the NWO was in the thick of things that's when I started watching wrestling on a regular basis. So I watched some of that Dungeon of Doom on the network, and a lot of it was goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember him most for, but I do remember him and Dusty when I was really, really young. He was a real big enemy of Dusty Rhodes back in the day. But like you said, he was really good behind the scenes. A lot of the stuff that a lot of the good shit that was happening during the NWO time, he had a lot to do with a lot of the backstage stuff. Now, I don't know what he was thinking with the Dungeon of Doom, but that shit was pure comedy. It was so corny and so stupid that I loved it. But he was such a little fucking firecracker. He was, I don't know, he was so small, but it was still something scary about him. You were still I don't know about this motherfucker. So that's what I remember of Kevin Sullivan, was mainly Dungeon of Doom and his feuds with Dusty Rhodes. And I know he did a lot more stuff than that. And like you said, he did a lot of stuff backstage. But for somebody to play such an asshole on TV, you don't really hear a lot of bad stories about Kevin Sullivan. At least I haven't. Somebody could easily fucking link me with a bunch of shit. But for the most part, people respected what he gave to the game. And he was doing a podcast a little while ago, and health took a turn for the worse. And yeah, sometimes you just don't kick out. Yeah,
and the tie-in with his ex-wife was Nancy Benoit,
mm-hmm.
and then storyline turned into real life? Wasn't there a storyline with?
Yeah, that's kind of like Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett, like a whole love triangle type thing that was actually something that happened in real life also. But yeah, I don't know everything about that, so I don't really want to fuck with it. I don't like fucking with stuff with Benoit anyway. I just like leaving that shit alone.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. But you mentioned him being involved with NWO. I didn't know he was involved with NWO. If you listen otherwise, you'd think that Eric Bischoff did everything behind NWO, and he was the mastermind behind everything.
As far as like booking matches and angles and shit like that, like Kevin Sullivan had a lot to do with that stuff back then, from everything I've heard. But I mean, Eric Bischoff is a fucking liar too. Like everything he's said about Starrcade '97, his story changes all the fucking time, and his number one job is to protect the immortal racist. And if you like, I've heard stories of people being like, "Well, Sting was doing drugs and shit back there. Maybe he showed up high." Nobody's ever said that. If that's the case, then fucking say that. Don't get on here telling me that the motherfucker wasn't tanned enough and y'all didn't tell Nick Patrick to fuck the count up at the biggest goddamn show in the history of the... I'm not talking about Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I don't want to get you riled up talking Eric Bischoff.
Fuck Eric Bischoff. Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. And rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan.
In the name of Kevin Sullivan. More like the name of Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik will fucking co-sign what I said. Fuck Hulk Hogan. Jabroni.
Amen.
Shit, EJ, that's all the wrestling topics we got besides Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week and Power Rankings. So we can get to that, and then we'll see what else we got, and we'll get the hell up out of here. Short and sweet episode this week.
Power Rankings. So I had them up, and then I'm scrolling through stuff and lost it. My number 5 for this week's Power Rankings is the TBS and the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Mercedes Moné. Really good match yesterday with Hikaru Shida. So that's my number 5 at this week's Power Ranking.
Nice. I didn't even have Mercedes on mine. My number 5. Let's see if I can pull it up on my watch. Here we go. My number 5, Bronson Reed, the new top guy. Trying to kill motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I wonder when Seth's coming back. Obviously, it wrote him off, but it's cool. It seems like the fans are really getting into it, so they're all for it, man.
I don't like that, though. Like, R-Truth is a national treasure. Why are the fans chanting one more time? You know?
Because they're assholes.
Seth is supposed to be a good guy, and y'all are chanting one more time to put the motherfucker on the shelf. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm not a body guy. Like, ain't nobody gonna call me a fucking Adonis. But Seth look a little out of shape to you when he's come back?
Seth? Never really paid attention to it. So if he is, it wasn't enough to catch my eye.
I feel like some pictures I've seen in the video, I think he may have come back early, and I mean, he tore his meniscus and had to get surgery, so he probably wasn't working out, and he just came back to do what he did. Now he's rolled off again. I don't know. It was just a question I had. Like, if you find time, go look up pictures or video of when he came out and he was talking to Punk. I mean, he wasn't in like awful shape, but he wasn't Seth Rollins to me anyway.
Yeah, you may be on something. I think he's only wrestled once since coming back, and that was at the ladder pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. Unless he wrestled a TV match that I'm forgetting about.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
You might be right.
My number 4. Also, don't forget we do have questions. We have a couple questions in the Discord that we're gonna answer before we get out of here. My number 4, Pete Dunne. Since we left, he's beaten Trick Williams, which I hated. What the fuck? What are we doing to Trick? He had a 1-month title reign. Now everybody gets a title shot except for Trick Williams. And he's losing to Pete Dunne.
He got the belt, didn't he, a little bit after TakeOver? He had it for like 3 months or so, maybe.
It wasn't long enough. It felt like a month. He should have had it longer than Cody.
I get what they're doing. I might not agree with who they did it with, like Ethan Page, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I think they're building them to make another run at getting and be a 2-time NXT champion. I hope that's what they're doing, because if not, then yeah, I don't know.
I got to get to an NXT show before Trick leaves, just so I can be out there for that Whoop That Trick intro.
Oh yeah, I was out there in Philly and it was lit.
That shit looks like a vibe.
Yep. That's your number 4. My number 4 are your new NXT Tag Team Champions, Chase U. I know you're not a huge fan of Chase U, but they got the job done against Axiom and Nathan Frazier, Andre Chase, and what's the guy's name who injured Biggie?
Ridge Holland.
Ridge Holland. They got the tag team belt, so had to give NXT a little shout out for that. Well, I got to go number 3. I was acting like it was your turn. My number 3 is Thunder Rosa. I know you barely watched Dynamite, so I know you didn't watch Collision, but her and Deonna Purrazzo had a really nice bull rope match. I was entertained by that. Both of them had color. It's a knockout, drag out, brawl type match. I was digging it, so I got Thunder Rosa.
I'm sorry. Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo are still fighting each other?
Yeah, fight forever.
Jesus. This is the most inconvenient, insignificant fucking feud ever.
Fight forever.
My number 3, you said I don't too much care for him, but I got Chase U, new tag team champions. My number 2 is your AEW World Heavyweight Champion, who won not even an eliminator, a warm-up match is what they called it, which I thought was wildly disrespectful, where he just stomped the living shit out of what's the young boy name for BCC? Yuta. Just beat his ass in front of Bryan Danielson, and then came up and kicked Bryan Danielson in the head with a house call. I ain't mad at it. I like my babyface / world champion / tweener to have a little bit of an edge to him. And I like that Swerve will tell you, yeah, I was kind of a piece of shit. And I can still be a piece of shit, but the people love me. I like that shit. So he's not really a heel, but he's not really a face. It ain't like Bronson Reed where he's coming out like trying to injure motherfuckers. He's just telling you like, I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to still be the champion and you not. I like that shit.
Yeah, well, that takes me to my number 2, which is the same as your number 2. I have Swerve Strickland for beating Wheeler Yuta on Dynamite, and he also beat Ishii on this past week's Collision this past Saturday. So he's getting in action in. And yeah, that takes me to, I guess, the overall atmosphere right now, because they had a really intriguing July with AEW storytelling. I don't think that episode last week was as bad as you said. I know you're a storyline guy. I thought the wrestling was fine, but they've been kind of coasting besides like with their storytelling. That's why for August, because like I said, they were really hot in July and then they were kind of coasting. But last night's episode was better than last week's episode.
Definitely.
So maybe they're coasting a little bit because they know they're building up for All In, but I hadn't been feeling the August episodes like I did with July.
Fucking Jeff Jarrett was in the main event last week.
Yeah, that was weird.
But the stories last night were really good. Their video packages and shit getting ready for All In were really good. I think those may be the video. You remember, I don't know if they still do it or not, but before AEW pay-per-views on like a Friday night, they would air a special and it would just be video packages and shit. I think a lot of those were from that, and they just wanted to put it on TV where people could actually see it. But I'm not mad at it. I like video packages. I always have. AEW doesn't need to play the video packages before their matches on the pay-per-view because there's going to be 1,700 fucking matches. So playing the video packages beforehand, I'm all for it. And they were really well done. So yeah.
That takes me to my number one. My number one, and this probably will transition to actually the question that we had, is badass Braun Breaker. He defended the Intercontinental Championship on Raw against Sami Zayn. Spared him a few times, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from my memory of the match, and got the win. So Braun Breaker is my number one.
Braun Breaker also my number one. If you're listening and you don't follow along in our Discord, I put out, a couple hours ago, so I guess people hadn't had a lot of time to respond. But if there's any questions that anybody want to ask, and Chris Hardy in the chat wrote, I want to hear your thoughts on Braun Breaker. Do you think he's main event potential? I definitely think he has main event potential. But I don't think it's in the next year or so.
Yeah, and I think I might have said this on one of the previous shows we did recently. I see 2026, maybe him winning the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber, whatever title that World Heavyweight Championship is on. I don't think he's ready for the WWE even in 2 years, but definitely the World. They got to be careful, though, because it's been organic so far since turning heel. They did not like the babyface stuff he was doing in NXT, and they finally turned him heel. Did a little comedy stuff with Baron Corbin, which the fans, took a liking to. And the fans have been liking what he's been doing on Raw. You hear the barks in the crowd, kind of like his dad got the barks, Rick. Yeah, but I just don't want them to force feed him. The fans will be able to sniff it if he is just running through the whole roster.
Yeah.
So I think he could be a main event player, but they need to do it organically and don't need to rush it.
He's got to learn how to talk a little bit better. Like, eventually you're going to have to put emotion into it, and his moveset needs to get a little better as opposed to just dominating everything. Obviously his moveset's really good. Like, it's impressive, but I can only hear he's running the ropes 23.7 miles an hour so many fucking times. Like, we get it. The motherfucker's fast. Like, okay, cool. You know what happens when you run really fast? I kick you in the face even harder.
Exactly.
Science.
Yeah, and I, like you said, I need to see more depth in the character as the years go on. Because right now it's fine, so I'm not complaining about it now. But like you said, I need to hear more mic work from him. It's basically at one level right now. He's just yelling in the mic, so I need to see some depth.
Right. But yeah, I think Braun's obviously got a bright future. Not crazy about the name, but I think it's fucking here to stay. So thanks for the question, Chris Hardy. The rest of you motherfuckers in the chat, y'all better come through next time when I ask. I said power ranking. Street Clothes Wrestler of the Week, EJ. Mine is the person that I wasn't too fond of their appearance or their work or whatever the other night on AEW, but Camille. She looked like a fucking... Now, I fucking hate agreeing with Bully Ray so much. But he was all over social media and busted open talking about how Camille's supposed to be a badass, needed to make her like China, and of all people, Hikaru Shida shouldn't be backing her down the way she did, and I completely agreed with him. I thought she looked weak last night. I was a big fan of Britt Baker at Revolution in Orlando around COVID, but she's basically the Charlotte Flair of AEW for me.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, I hope you ain't souring on her like Charlotte.
Yeah, I just feel like she just sucks the wind out of whatever. To me, she just sucks the wind out of the segment that she's in. Like, she was so late yesterday, and I noticed this, and then I heard several people on podcasts, and I was listening to Busted Open today too. Like, Mercedes turned around and looked at her, but Britt wasn't even in position yet, so Mercedes had to turn back around and act like she didn't know she was there. and then turn around like, oh my god, you snuck up on me. But like, I don't know, there was no urgency. It just, I don't know. I really hope they don't put the belt on her at All In.
Yeah, I hope they don't too. I think it's more juice to squeeze with Mercedes. I just think she fits more naturally as a heel too. I don't hate Dr. Britt Baker, but she just needs to be put in the position that suits her strengths, so to speak.
I derailed it. I'm sorry. Camille, Street Clothes Rest of the Week. She looked phenomenal. She looked like a badass. I've seen her in person. She's a really good looking woman in person. Like physically, like obviously the face and all that, but like she looks like she could whoop ass in person. Like when you see her, she's just a physically imposing woman. In a good way. So seeing her in street clothes last night she's Street Clothes Rest of the Week for your boy.
Hey, shout out to Camille. My Street Clothes Rest of the Week, I have Claudio Castagnoli. I'm not the biggest Claudio fan, but he's the anchor of the BCC. He had a nice, clean, grade 3-piece suit on, no tie, and based off with who did he face off with?
Okada
backstage, and I think they're setting themselves up for a continental title match, which I don't think you're too high on.
It's not at All In though, right? Isn't it in Cardiff?
Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah, I think they're having that first Dynamite over there.
Yeah.
So I wonder what they're gonna do with Okada then if they're not doing that at All In.
I figured he was wrestling Hangman.
That could be a possibility.
Because they've had beef for the longest, and Hangman hit him with the buckshot lariat in the War Games match that they have, Blood and Guts.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're paying him a shit ton of money. You better be featured in some type of role at All In.
Yeah. So Cesaro, Claudio and Camille win Street Clothes Rest of the Week this week. Let's end on a rumor, EJ. We just talked about her, Britt Baker. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful was doing one of his little podcasts and apparently reported that Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter have some kind of beef, and he doesn't see them working together anymore, which throws a big time wrench in the plans that I thought Jamie was going to show back up at All In to help Britt Baker and take out Camille. But apparently there's issues between Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, issues between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, issues between Britt Baker and MJF, issues between Britt Baker and Alicia Atout.
Well, I guess we can see what the common denominator is. Britt Baker. I mean, if they were smart and if Tony Khan was a boss, contrary, like Eric Bischoff said, controversy creates cash. If they don't like each other, then have them have a storyline out of it, and they don't have to like each other to work with each other in the ring.
I think they tried that with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, and it didn't work out the best in real life.
Make it work.
Britt kind of went into business for herself, like telling people Thunder Rosa really wasn't injured and shit like that. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not backstage. I just know what I hear and stuff like that. And it just seems like she's always in the middle of shit.
I mean, maybe she does that on purpose. She knows that she has her dentistry as a backup plan, so she just wreaks havoc backstage.
Fuck
y'all.
She can just, I got a fallback plan. What you gonna fall back on, bitch?
Which is a terrible way to look at life, but
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I know when I went to Revolution in Orlando, or Jacksonville, I'm sorry, we stayed at the Wrestlers Hotel that Monday. Everybody else kind of left, and her and Tony Khan were like this, like inseparable. They had the biggest bottle of Grey Goose I'd ever seen, and they were just walking around with it through the hotel the whole time. So clearly Tony's got a liking for her. Like, I don't see him firing her, but eventually it's like, goddamn, lady, like stop, knock the shit off.
Yeah, nobody's bigger than the company. Like, if you have this reputation, that'll carry a long way. If you may want to try to jump over to WWE, they're like, wait a minute, you're too much trouble, then it's worth signing. So
yeah,
I don't know if she needs to get their shit together if the rumors are true.
Well, hopefully Jamie Hayter comes back soon because I miss her on TV.
Yeah, I mean, she was injured, but we know at AEW though, she could be healed by now, and maybe they just waiting for a time to insert her. But I would like to see her back on my TV. She's a impact player right away whenever she steps back in the ring.
I wonder how serious her injury was too, because she used to be all over social media, and they haven't reported what her injury is, and she hasn't posted anything on social media since then. Like, just went completely dark.
Who knows? Maybe she's like trying to have some mystery so it could be a surprise when she comes back.
Maybe. We talked about Revolution a second ago. One thing I forgot to bring up in Vegas, I got my my little scorpion colored in while I was there.
A word?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was an outline. That's what's up.
Yeah, it was
How
just
long
an
did it
outline. It took about an hour.
That's what's up. Now it's complete.
Yeah, I got the outline, and the guy was like, "It'll be like $250 more to get it colored in." I was like, "What? No, thank you. I'll get this done at home." And then we were, we were at the Container Park off of Fremont, and the place I got it done was right there, and we were sitting there drunk, obviously, and I was just like, "Let's go over there and see how much they'll color this tattoo in." And the guy's like, "Oh, that'll be at least $200." I was like, $200? I only paid $100 for the tattoo. And he's like, "Where'd you get it?" I was like, "Here." He's like, "No, you didn't." And then my girlfriend's like, "Yeah, we did. Look, here's the picture." And we're like, "Who the fuck would have did that tattoo for $100? And they see the picture and they're like, "Oh, that's fucking Spud or something like that. He don't fucking work here anymore. Like, I can't believe he only did that for $100. So they were like, "All right, we'll do $150 to color in." I was like, "Bet." So
yeah. Tattoo no, you're not supposed to be drunk getting a tattoo, but everybody does it anyway.
Yeah. I think every tattoo I've had, I have been drinking. You were there for one of them.
Oh yeah, you were drinking going into that one.
Yeah. Met up in St. Louis. What tattoo did you get when we were there?
I got the infinity symbol on my right shoulder.
That's right. You were damn near done by the time I got there.
I was, yeah.
But we can get some boot to the face tattoos at WrestleMania, EJ.
All right.
I think I actually might, though. I might get like a little microphone with like boot to the face on one side and 80 proof on the other side. It's just a tattoo. Who gives a shit?
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Should get a tattoo out there in Vegas.
I think what I'm gonna do is not my entire right arm, but I'm gonna get like a half to a 3/4 sleeve on my right side. I just don't know what I want yet. I don't know what to tie everything in with yet, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, they got some tattoo designers online that could, if you give them some ideas, they could, draw it up for you.
That's the thing. I'm not artistic. Like, I say, "Oh, I want a Sting tattoo," and I get that. "Oh, I want a Cowboys tattoo," and I get that. And this fucking cross I got here, like, I just walked into the place and picked something out. Like, it didn't mean anything. So I wouldn't care about that one getting covered up. But yeah, I'm not artistic at all. I just put shit on my body that I like. But I don't know. They'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah. We got some pretty creative people out there.
Yeah. Well, if you ain't got anything else, EJ, we'll get the hell up out of here, man. It's a good little quick show, about an hour and 20 minutes. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, I think it's a nice sweet spot for the show. Thanks for everybody for checking it out. Make sure to interact with us on social media, all that good stuff, X, IG. Jump on the Discord too.
Yep. Our Linktree has all of the links for that. If you're ever wondering how to get in touch with us, just go to Linktree and search Boot to the Face or Linktree linktr.ee/boot to the face, or just go to Linktree and fucking search for us. But all of our ways to get at it are on there.
Yes, sir.
All right. For EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Until next week. Peace.